Hey there, welcome back to the channel. It's Carrie with Blue City Pickin, and this is Ching number 12. I know it's a little bit late during the week that it's coming out. This is for the week of November 17th. I was out of town with my family for Thanksgiving break, so we enjoyed taking a little bit of break from eBay. Although my store is now suffering from being on vacation mode the week of Black Friday and right before Cyber Monday, but that is okay. Family first in all things. So, all in all, not a terrible week, the week of November 17th, but not great either. I mean, honestly, a little bit disappointed, but I assume that's partially because I put my store on vacation mode, I believe that Thursday, or it might have been Wednesday, to make sure that I could get everything out before I headed out on vacation. So all in all, we sold 26 items, which is well below my average and goal of at least 35 or so a week. Gross sales of $645 and then net profit of $296. So not bad, not great, just what it was. Average sale price was $18.13. Average profit, $11.40. Also well below what I prefer. But I did get rid of some old low dollar inventory, so I was happy to see those go. I sold something and made only $2.50 on it, which is okay because it's gone. And then the maximum profit I made was $31 this week, which was a good flip. Average days in the store was 66, so 2 months, a little over 2 months. I had something that sold within a day, and then I had some things that had been in the store for 255 days, which was the $2.57 thing that had been listed since March. So I was glad to see those gone. So without further ado, let's get into it. First off was this purple Bagolini. It had an adjustable strap, tons and tons and tons of pockets. I paid $6.47 for this at a local thrift store. The buyer paid $20. And when I say $20, that's what the sale price was, not including shipping and taxes, because that is a better representation of what I'm going to make. I do not do free shipping at all. I do calculated shipping with the eBay discount passed on to my buyer. So sometimes I make a smidge on shipping, but it's not a lot. I do have a handling fee on a lot of my items of I think about 35 cents. To help cover the shipping supplies like the poly mailers, the paper, the bubble wrap. And on average, with that 35 cents across all the things that I sell, I'm not too much in the hole on purchasing shipping supplies. So that is what works for me. You do what works for you. And if you have any tips or something that works better than that, I'm absolutely happy to take them. So like I said, it sold for $20. I bought it for $6.47, and my net profit was $10.15 after 52 days. Next up is this set of Roan by Bed Stew men's gray suede chukka boots. I bought these not that long ago. I paid $12.40 for them at Goodwill. They sold for $39, and I profited $19.85 in just 13 days. Next item is this set of vintage Hamilton plastic coated playing cards. Picked these up at an estate sale back in April for $1. They sold for $9, and I profited $5.54 after 186 days. Goodbye. Next up is this baseball hat. It was a Converse All-Star Chuck Taylor hat. Paid $1 for it at an estate sale back in July. Sold it for $10, profited $6.57 after 105 days. Next is this small brass decorative vase. It says with copper tie. It was not. I got a message from the buyer. That was my bad. I offered a fully paid for return. I did not receive it back, so I assume they're going to keep it. I basically got this for nothing at an estate sale back in June. Sold it for $10.50 and profited $8.02 after 156 days. Next up is something from the Thread Up Kids box that I got back in October. It was one of the things I decided to list myself. It was a Bloomies baby cashmere hat. I put $1 on it as far as cost of goods. Sold it for $12, made $8.06 after 14 days. Next is my worst sale of the week. This was a pair of Comfort Plus by Predictions heels. I got these out of a Thread Up shoe rescue box. I had allocated about $6.50 to each pair. They sold for $11.12, and I made $2.57 in 255 days, but I was incredibly happy that it is gone because now I don't have to deal with them anymore, and I got my money back, so yay! Next up is this 1985 Telco musical mug. So when you picked the mug up, it would sing a song for you. This was from when I was a kid, so a home clean out. Sold it for $12. It still worked, which was kind of crazy given how old it was. Made $8.54 after 118 days. Next item is another Christmas item. This is a needlepoint stocking that I paid $2 for it as an estate sale back in July. Sold it for $15, made $9.83 in 118 days. Next up is a pair of Wiss shears. These were dressmaking shears. I got this out of a sewing bundle lot at an estate sale back in October. I sold these for $12. I allocated $1 in cost of goods, made $8.55 in just 31 days. Next up is this turkey wooden statue that I picked up at a yard sale back in October. I think I got this at the church sale for $1. Sold it for $8. Net profit of $6.50 in 42 days. I wanted to make sure I got that out before Thanksgiving, so it didn't sit for another year. So happy to see that go. Next up is the first item out of the huge lot that I bought off of Whatnot. I've done a video before about how can you source on Whatnot. I've had some successes with the things that I purchased that first time. This particular time, I just kind of stumbled into a show where somebody was selling some vintage, like big bags of toys. One of them was a huge bag of like vintage toy weapons and accessories. And if you're a collector and you have your figure, but you're missing that one accessory, where else are you going to go to find it except on eBay? So the first item that has sold out of that lot was this pair of nunchucks from Thundercats. They were Panthros. I paid about, I think I allocated about $1 cost of goods to everything. I did pay up for these weapons, but as you will see, there's at least 150 things in this box that I bought, and I'm going to make some good money on this. It's going to take some time to get them all listed, but I'm excited. So they sold for $14.99. I profited at $11.54, and it sold the same day that I listed it. Next up is this Joseph A. Banks cashmere blazer. I picked this up at Goodwill. You may have seen it in a short. I paid $9.99 for this. It was 100% cashmere. I did sell it for $31.99. I put it on sale because there were some stains that I had tried to get out, and most of them did come out, but there were still a few hanging on. So I profited $17.30 in just 6 days. Next item, another cashmere. This is a Queen of Scots vintage cashmere sweater. I paid $5.99 for this at Goodwill. It sold for $29.99. I profited $20.42 in just 6 days. So I've never heard of Queen of Scots. That's just an example of quality trumps brand, and there's people out there just looking for cashmere, and if it's not a specific name brand, you can price it well and still make decent money on just the simplest of items, which is this was just a very simple black sweater. Next up is this 435 by Matilda Jane like duster sweater. I paid $6.99 for this at Goodwill back in April. I sold it for $16.70. I made $5.51 after 225 days. Just really happy that is gone. Next up is another Christmas stocking. This was it had cardinals on it. I paid $2 for this at the same estate sale as the other one. Sold it for $10, made $5.37. Didn't want to hang on to this for much longer. Didn't want it to sit through another Christmas season. So I went ahead and took that and made my money. Next up is this thing of a bag of light bright peg replacements. I picked this up at a yard sale in November. I paid 50 cents for the bag, sold it for $12, profited $8.84 within a day of listing. Next is something else I picked up at that same sale. This is a DuckTales pillowcase from 1986. Paid 50 cents for it. Sold it for $8, made $6.31 in just 9 days after listing. Next up is out of that same sewing lot that I sold the scissors. I have this lot of 2 London Fog replacement buttons that were kind of hiding in there. They were new old stock, so I pulled them out separately. I put about 50 cents cost of goods on that. I sold them for $14.99 and I made a net profit of $11.07 in just 19 days. Next item is this vintage Silvestri glass, like 5-tier bell ornament. I originally had this listed for a lot higher. After I went back and did comps again when the person sent the offer, I just went ahead and took it because I didn't want it sitting through another season. So I paid $1 for it, sold it for $12, and profited $9.77 in 91 days. Next is this little patchwork throw crib blanket. It was pink, green, and white. I picked it up at Goodwill for $2.99 back in August. Sold it for $20, made $12.28 after just 78 days listed. Next item is 10, it says tablespoons, they are teaspoons. I reached out to the buyer to make sure that they realized they were teaspoons because that was my bad in the listing title. She said absolutely that's what she wanted was the teaspoon, so I went ahead and sent them off to her. I bought this in a big bag of flatware of this Tudor plate, Queen Bess pattern. At Goodwill, so I've assigned $2 cost of good to this. I sold them for $17.10, and I have a net profit of $12.53 after just 17 days listed. Next is one of my favorite sales of the week, and actually one of my better ones. This is a vintage PB&J Scotty Dog Christmas sweater. It is so stinking cute. It was a women's extra large. I picked this up at Goodwill for $6.99. The buyer paid $34.99 and I profited $21.74 in just 9 days. Next up is a set of 2 candle holders. They did not match. I have found that I have better luck when I just, even if they're mix and match, list them. So this is a set of brass candle holders. Bought these in an estate sale back in October, pretty sure the same one where I picked up the sewing lot, and sold them for $10, made $4.70 in just 2 days. From listing, I'd had them for a while and they had been in my death pile, so I finally got them listed. Next up is another jacket with some cashmere in it. So this was a Roundtree and York black wool cashmere overcoat. It was cashmere blend, so not all cashmere. I did pay $10.62 for this at a Goodwill. It sold for $39.99, net profit of $23.45 in just 24 days. And last but certainly not least, this was actually my best sale of the week. This was a vintage Ralph Lauren skirt. It was wool and Angora blend. It was this really pretty pencil skirt. It had a satin liner. I paid $5.99 for this at Goodwill. And it sold for $39.99, and so my net profit was $31.37 after just 10 days listed. So that was a great sale to end off the week. Let me know how your Q4 post-Thanksgiving sales are going. Mine are kind of slow, but that's to be expected with the fact that I'd had my shop on vacation mode for like 8 or 9 days over one of the busiest like shopping times in Black Friday, etc. But it could not be helped. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Until the next one. Thanks again. Bye.